All right, let's go take a look at the AWS Solution Architect Professional exam guide. So I've just typed in here AWS Solution Architect Professional. AWS is always kind of changing on us, and there's a lot of ads in the way here. But down below, we should get to the AWS website, and you know you're on the right page if you see the SA Pro. And somewhere here, there's the exam guide. It used to be in the top right corner, now it's in the bottom left. And so let's take a review of what's most important here. So the exam validates a candidate's advanced technical skills and experience designing optimized AWS solutions that are based on the AWS well-architected framework. This is something you're going to really want to know inside and out. I do have content on the AWS well-architected framework, but you have to do extra effort to try to keep that mindset when you're working through things. They have some information about like target candidate description. So target candidate has 2 or more experience in using AWS services. Now, the Solution Architect Professional is just a very challenging certification. So it's not really about 2 years. It's really you are engineering your knowledge a very specific way to pass this exam. And so to pass this exam, you have to spend a lot of time doing practice exams and optimizing for that kind of stuff because you can be very experienced and easily fail this exam or not experienced and pass this exam. It's just how much you optimize for this certification. Job tasks and knowledge that are out of scope here. So it's not expected to be able to perform knowledge that the target candidate is not expected to have. Okay, well, of course, that's very straightforward. The tasks and knowledge that are out of scope are front-end development for mobile apps, 12-factor app methodology, in-depth knowledge of operating systems. I don't know why they leave these out of scope, but they do, and that's just what it is. We have multiple choice and multiple response. We are seeing at different tiers of certifications, they are introducing new question types. For the SA Pro, they're leaving it alone. I mean, SA Pro, they give you so many questions in such little time that, it is what it is. And so introducing different types would really throw people off. They'd have to really overhaul this exam. So I don't see these changing anytime soon. Just understand that the multiple choice questions are a lot more challenging because a lot of them can be right, but you have to choose the most right answer. Whereas at the associate level, it's pretty obvious which ones are wrong. It should be, but in this one, you have to do your best to best guess the correct answer. It's very common to fail this exam first or second try. So just don't get discouraged and understand that you can have the right answer. It's just not the most right answer that they want based on the way you read the context. Here we can see that there are 65 questions that affect your score. We have 10 unscored questions as per usual. You have to get 750 points to pass. So that would actually be 75%. But of course, you don't want to study and then, okay, I got 75%, I'm ready to go. You want to make sure you are 15, 20% above that value in your practice exam scores because even if you get 750, you can still fail because of the way scoring works. Let's go down to our content outline. So we have design solutions for organizational complexity here. We have design for new solutions, which is the largest weight out of the 3 domains, continuous improvement of existing solutions, accelerate workload migration and modernization. For making SA Pro content, it's really hard because you basically just need to have large, in-depth knowledge of multiple services, right? And so the way I've engineered this course is we just go deep on everything. That's the only way you can do it. We do have case studies. I'm not sure if I made videos for that. We have case studies to kind of help you think from a business scenario use case that I absolutely want you to go through. I'm not sure if that's in our free tier, but it's definitely on the Exam Pro platform. So that is something I really, really, really want you to do because it's going to really help you think about the architecture and throughout. But we'll just walk through domain 1. So we have knowledge of AWS global infrastructure, networking, hybrid concepts, networking segmentation, network traffic monitoring, evaluating connectivity options for multiple VPCs, on-premise, co-location. So you're seeing a lot of things that are cross-account and cross-region, okay? So, and then also, And so those are things that you're going to want to really focus on. So if you're doing things at associate level and they're all single region, single account, this is where you need to start hitting those scenarios of cross-account, things like that. Single sign-on is going to be really important, and then cross accounts are going to be very important. Always just think of the most secure way of doing things. Imagine you're going to use KMS, but what is it like using KMS with keys across account? What are those default things you can turn on to secure your environment? We have RTO and RPOs. I didn't really get much of this on the exam, but I mean, you should know what RTOs and RPOs are, so you can choose, the best option between recovery, pilot light, warm standby, multi-site. Uh, Again, I didn't see any questions of this, but that doesn't mean that there aren't ones. I think I've seen other people say that they've gotten them. So again, it's dealer's choice of what kind of questions you'll get. Data backup and restoration has not previously been very heavy on exams, but like prior exams, but could be more of an introduction now. Again, didn't get much myself when I recently sat this. We have designing disaster recoveries for RTO, RPO requirements, developing the optimal architecture for scale up, scale out. Then we have designing a multi-account AWS environment. You're gonna see this repeated again and again. Multi-account, multiple accounts, multiple regions, right? So we're talking about AWS Control Tower, multi-account event notifications, appropriate account structure for organizational requirements, strategy for central logging, a multi-account governance model, AWS cost and monitoring usage, purchasing options. This is stuff that we already covered in associate level, so you should pretty much know it. Like they're not going to ask you like, what is AWS Cost Explorer? They're going to really ask you about a scenario, and you need to understand what you have available and where you can get the cost and not get the cost, right? And then we'll keep going down here. So new solutions, they said this is the largest domain. So IAC, you absolutely will want to know. Same thing with CI/CD and change management and systems manager. Again, I didn't really see any code on my exam, but you might see code samples. That's a total possibility, as I've heard people have gotten those in the past as well. Determining an application for an upgrade path. Obviously, your technical path is what's really important here. Like, what's the size of the company, the cost, what is their future use case, demand, how's that going to drive it? And if you choose a technology, are you going to get stuck one way, so you have to take it another way, right? This is the SA Pro for good reason. So a lot of things like that. Then we have designing a solution to ensure business continuity. Can't say that word, but if you have it running, you want to keep it running, right? So back RTOs, RPOs, they just keep talking about these. Again, barely had any questions on these, but they're repeating it like saying, I should really know what these are. More about data backup just feels extremely repetitive, but that's why they're doing it here. Again, disaster recovery, database replication. These are things that you get at the associate level you should know. Backup solutions, etc., etc. Then we're talking about security again, right? So route tables, credentials management, all that stuff. This looks fine. Let's go down to design solution for meet performance, so performance optimization. But you can see it's just like, it's basically everything, right? So I could go here through this all day, every day. One thing I would probably point out is SLAs and KPIs. I think those are something that you definitely want to know. But just a bunch of text that is not super helpful for helping you really visualize the exam. But if a one thing has been mentioned here, we have definitely covered it in depth. So just cover all the services, and you can see down below here, we get into the big list. I got to be careful here because there's in-scope services here, and then we have our out-of-scope services down below here. And all they have is game lift, but there are lots of services that aren't included implicitly. But basically, we covered a lot of this at the associate level. I just have additional videos and additional services. You're just going to have to dig deep there. And once you're finished your study, hit the practice exams, use mine, and then go use somebody else's like John Bonzo, and then go get another set and just keep doing practice exams until you feel confident and go sit the exam. And if you don't pass the first time, that's okay. Learn from your mistakes and go do it again. Often people do not pass the first time. It's not a big deal. For me, like I can sit it every time and I might pass and I might fail, right? Like it's just again, the questions you get. Okay. So hopefully that gives you confidence to tackle this exam, and I'll see you in the next video, okay?